We did cut that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in that episode anymore.
I think I
Because
missed
I
that
was
episode.
like, this is unwatchable.
Yeah, he was like, take it down right now.
I don't like it.
I am the law. Take
I
it down.
asked nicely. There was a please in there.
Kill
No, I
it
know.
like the rest.
I was like, something tells me he doesn't like the beginning of that episode.
Yeah, and then you watched it, and what did you think?
I was like, wow, that really is terrible. Yeah, it's like, wow. Too much drinky drink. That's all.
I do like your comment here. The 80-20.
Oh, my God. All right, so we're going to talk about that, but do you guys know what that comes from? I'll tell you.
Yeah, during the podcast.
Yeah. Are we going?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going.
Action.
See, he did it again. He just doesn't tell us.
We know. I already know. I anticipate this.
You just
That's-
figured?
yeah, I
That's
mean, it's
because
Casey.
as soon as he goes, are we going? Then I know where to cut in the intro.
That's where fucking
just goes-
the little laser
Yeah,
granite
and
thing
then it
comes on.
And then
All
all of
right.
a sudden it's like, bam.
I'm Lane. Kevin and Casey. This is the Daily Torch. All right. So the 80-20 thing, right, originally comes from something called the Pareto distribution, which is a comment on how societies distribute wealth. So it's really a socioeconomic thing. It has nothing to do with like actual statistics. What it basically says is if you have a group of 100 people, all like in the same society, 20% of them will end up with 80% of the resources, right? And it's basically a comment on how people value their groups and how we identify stature.
Okay.
Right.
And then it became this absolutely fucking garbage, work smarter, not harder, 20% of the effort gets you 80% of the results. First of all, there's absolutely no fucking evidence for this at all. It's just people making noise. And I'm fairly certain it's just an excuse to be fucking lazy. Right?
Okay.
So here's the biggest problem I have with it. On a very practical level, is that until you've actually achieved the very limit, like the very top of achievement, you don't know what 20% is, you don't know what 80% is, you don't know what effort looks like, you don't know what the results look like.
Right.
How do you know until you got there? It's really just an excuse to be lazy.
That's fair.
I choose the 100% effort.
Well, I've always defaulted to the like work hard thing, to, you know, for lack of talent or whatever.
Yeah.
But I put in hours to make up for what I don't know.
See, I always thought that the 20-80 meant that 20% of the people do 80% of the work.
Wait, again, does it? That actually might work, right?
'Cause I
in
feel
the
like if
Pareto
you-
distribution, that might actually work. Like
Yeah.
you could extrapolate that out reasonably, given what it's a comment on, and it would make sense. But this whole, like, all the other people that are like, dude, so many people are like, well, I work smart, not hard. Like, I only need to do this. It's just garbage. And most of the time, it's people with resources. Like, look, economic success really comes down to just a couple of things, right? Your ability to leverage capital and your ability to say no. Those are the only two things. Everything else comes after that. All of it comes to, and the ability to say no really just hinges on your access to capital.
Right.
If you have money, you'll have opportunity.
Okay.
If you have opportunity, you can fail a bunch, but make enough work that it won't matter, right? Because there's no cost. You can take a bunch more risks. A bunch of them can fail. It's irrelevant because you have a giant backboard called cash.
Yes.
This is like, I love this story. Like, oh, so-and-so put their last dollar online. Like, that's great, but that's not the fucking rule. Like, that's the exception. Far and away the exception.
Yes.
People that they were bankrupt when their business finally made it. It's so rare. Most of the time, those people just go bankrupt and their business fails.
Yeah, and then you see him working at Home Depot.
And then this is something I had on the notes last week, which we didn't get to. The same thing, right? Like, and it's just this cultural thing. First of all, this 80-20 garbage is fucking my generation's fault. Like, all the people that are parents now raising their kids to be lazy. Because first, like, it was my parents raising our generation to be like, you're good enough the way you are. People should accept you. Like, don't worry about it. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can with hard work and with a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
And if you grew up poor, like, good luck.
Hey,
Right,
you had
right.
Nice parents.
What's that?
So you had nice parents.
I did have nice parents. But the whole, like, 70s generation as parents missed the mark in that respect, right? They missed the you're going to have to work hard thing. Because they wanted their kids to be comfortable. And now we've got my generation raising their kids to be strategic. Except they're not strategic, they're lazy. And then this defaults, like what I said last week. Like, why is it that I don't know, in today's world, I don't know, might as well be I give up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's just a synonym for I give up.
Right.
I don't know. Really what they're saying is, I give up. It's too hard. Not going to do it.
See, I like using the phrase, I don't know. Let me look into it.
Oh, listen, I say I don't know all the time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm done.
Well, yeah, because you're going to look into it.
It usually means I'll find out.
Yeah, that's the type of
Or
person
I
you
should
are.
find out, or, I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to just sit on I don't know.
You legitimately don't know at the moment.
Yes. But for most people, I don't know is the end of the conversation. That's where they're done putting out effort.
Yeah, no, I get that because you ask like sometimes you ask people questions and they're just like, yeah, I don't know, and it's like, okay, are you going to look into it or
Yes. Is there more work to be done here?
Is there some Googling that needs to be done or what the fuck's going on here? And it's just like, I don't know, I'm just going to go sit at the beach and do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But this is also part of the whole, and I don't really care about the participation trophies thing. That's not a thing for me. However, it does sort of teach people that there's no such thing as failure, right? Like they avoid failure when they come to it because they were never taught that when they got a participation trophy, on some level they weren't good enough and they failed at least a little bit,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? Like they never had to overcome that void that you get from not succeeding. That void was filled by artificial stimulus from parents and coaches. Like, well, you didn't really fail, you tried. Well, and listen, I reward effort as much as anybody. I think that's huge. But you can't just reward effort. You have to reward effort and then do a critical analysis of both success and failure as a catalyst for growth, right? You need both. They don't work independently.
Right.
So right now we have a bunch of people who are like, I'm a truth teller. Like I know how to judge people. Oh, that's one of my favorites too. Is people like gut instinct. Your gut instinct is trash. Like your gut instinct is a dopamine response that is triggered by past memories of other people that this person reminds you of. So there's value in it if you look at it and you're like, oh, well, this person reminds me of this person. Here's why. Here's why I think it's relevant or not relevant, right? That's where your gut instinct is valuable. But if you're just like, that's a garbage human being because my gut instinct tells me so, right? Fuck off.
I tend to try and give them a little bit of leeway so I could see what they're like because you do have those gut things, like you said. This person is
Listen,
kind of a...
The gut instinct is a thing, but let's understand what it is.
Yeah.
The gut instinct. So dopamine, first of all, as I understand it, is not a switch, right? It's not like you have no dopamine and then something cool happens and it turns on, right? It's a knob. So you have a constant threshold, just like a constant background noise of dopamine, right? And when something negative happens, it gets turned down a little bit. When something positive happens, it gets turned up a little bit. And turning it down or turning it up is what triggers your gut instinct if it's not something that you're conscious of. Like winning a sports game, right? You're going to get a dopamine kick, right? Most of it you're going to actually get right before you win. But you'll recognize what that is. But gut instinct is something different. Like that's this subconscious thing. Like it's something in your memory that triggers that dopamine reaction and you're not sure what it is. But you assign it to something because that's what our minds do, right? Our minds find order. But you have to know why it did that. If you don't know why it did that, you're not being useful in the slightest.
Fair.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
But then it goes back to like, teaching kids that they don't actually have to put in the work to discover these things, that strategy is just something that you naturally have. Like, not something, most, like this, the best strategic thinkers in the world have a ton of experience developing the tools to be strategic thinkers, regardless of what it's for, whether business, warfare, whatever, right? They went through a bunch of experiences. They spent a bunch of time analyzing those experiences, applied them to future experiences, and now they can make predictions comfortably because they know why those feelings happen. If you don't know why those feelings happen, dude, you might as well be walking around in a dark room with, like, it's a crapshoot.
Fair enough.
Anyway, back to the 80-20 thing. It's just people being lazy. Because you don't know what maximum effort looks like. In fact, most people don't. I don't. I mean,
Well-
Dave Goggins might.
Well, but
He's pretty close.
Yeah.
when you say work smarter, not harder, like I think of like if I'm going to dig a hole, that's a big hole. Instead of using a shovel, I'm going to use a backhoe.
Well, it's fair. I'm not saying work dumb.
Right.
But again, there's the people that are like, how can I do this better? And there's the people that are like, how can I do less?
Right. How can I be lazy about it?
One of those people is going to be successful, and the other one is going to be a victim. And the victim's not going to know why. Right? Because they didn't take the time to actually break down the statement.
Okay, I got you.
They're just like, well, but I did it this way, and this is the way it's supposed to be done. So why didn't I get results?
Because you were lazy.
Like one of those things. I was some golfer, Gary Player maybe. The harder I work, the luckier I get. On some level, that's accurate, right?
The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Because you're building up experience at that
The fuck
point.
does that even mean?
It means that the more I try to make good things happen, the more they're going to happen, even when I'm not intending them to.
So just going off basic statistics?
Because my natural no, it's like you're building your natural skill set, right?
Okay.
So you know how you build a skill and it becomes reflex,
Yeah.
right? So the more skills you can make reflex, it feels like luck, but it's really not. It's that you put in the time to develop reflexes in the appropriate situations,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and that's a little bit cliche. But the one equalizer, the one thing you have control over, chances are you were either born to money or you weren't. You were probably born attractive or you weren't, right?
Right.
You were born with opportunity or you weren't.
Right.
The one equalizer, the thing you have the most control over in that situation is effort. That's it. It's the one thing you got. And when you're saying stupid things like work smarter, not harder, and you don't give any context, you're just giving people an excuse to be lazy. And then play victim when they don't know why they don't succeed.
That's why we got to bring back the freshman beater.
You would be the kid with the paddle in the fraternity.
Yes.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Most definitely.
All right. So
Punishment
seriously,
must
there
be
might
waived.
be some whiskeys in front of us. So this is what I did for both of you. So I picked up a bottle of the historic barrel entry Woodfords, which I really like.
Okay.
It's not cheap. I clearly think it's a hitter. But we're putting it up against some other stuff, similar proof, and we're going to see how it does. So we've got the John Bowman single barrel, the Four Roses single barrel, and the Jack Daniel's Barrel Select. So the highest proof is going to be 100. That's the Four Roses.
Okay.
Everything else is going to be right around 90, like between 90 and 94.
Okay.
And what's the fourth one? You said John, Jack.
John Bowman, Jack Daniel's, Four
Woodford-
Roses, and the
Woodfords.
Woodford Reserve
Woodford.
historic barrel entry.
Yep. So many decisions.
I know.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
and we've added one. It's now 4.
Yeah, it's 4.
3 was too easy,
That's
even
right.
though we always effed it up.
Entirely.
I had one last week.
Yeah.
You did have one that, dude, like 6 weeks from now, you're going to be like, well, I nailed it that 1 week.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get lucky once.
I'm going to hold on to the victories.
Oh, and we have a real grading system. So now our numbers are somewhat meaningful,
Right.
or at least organized. I don't know if they're meaningful.
No, they're meaningful
Anyway.
to us.
What do you guys, that was basically my rant. Someone said that to me and it just pissed me off.
What, work smarter, not harder?
Yeah.
I feel like I know who said that too.
Oh my God. What's that? And like people completely misconstruing what the 80-20 rule is or where it comes from or why it was even a thing.
I mean, I didn't even know what the 80-20 rule was.
Yeah.
I just knew that I was going to put as much
Well,
effort as I could into a project.
It's been completely bastardized now, right? Like now it means a lot of things depending on what random 200-page business self-help book you're reading. It's like the theory of relativity. Like as soon as you put it in the universe, people just bastardize the crap out of it.
Fair enough.
Oh my God, the nose on B. What is that? That's good.
B?
Yeah, the nose on B is good.
I like the nose on all of them. It's
Jack Daniels.
A felt a little bit plain to me. You think B is Jack Daniels?
B.
Do you get the banana on B?
A little bit.
I didn't get a lot of banana on B.
No?
I could be wrong. Oh, a little bit. I see
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I wonder what chemical that is that makes it smell like banana.
That's. Don't they just use banana?
No, they don't use banana.
Why not?
You fool.
Just throw the peel in there.
Artificial banana.
And it's still, even in bananas, it's a chemical compound that gives it that smell.
well. All right, Mr. Einstein. What is it then?
I'm gonna grade the noses on these before I taste them. We're gonna give this an
Oh.
actual strategy.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're going just straight nose first.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I tried, and I just
Listen, I think the best nose is B and C for me.
I like the nose on
And-
A, and I think it was D.
All right, so we're gonna
Yeah.
go. We've gone through all of them. We're gonna
A
go
falls a little flat to me.
Really?
I don't know why.
on the nose.
Yeah, on the nose at least. Oof.
I mean, I don't think it's bad.
C is pretty good.
Yeah.
I just think it's a subtler one in A.
That's yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
I mean, I don't hate any of these, if I'm being honest. So. Yeah, I think you're right about B, Casey.
Oh,
Oh.
my marker died.
Already?
Yes.
Well, that was quick.
It was.
Are these new or
That one's not. Let me grab a new one.
okay?
I think it's also getting a. I think it's getting a 14. All right. I mean, what do you guys think? Am I just making noise to make noise?
For what?
For this crap with people? Are people really just. Am I just getting old and people aren't as lazy as I think they are?
No, people are just dumb. And
Are
lazy.
they, or have they just been tricked? Have they just been tricked to think that comfort should be the default state?
Oh, that's a good. That's that question.
I work hard to be comfortable. That's the thing. And I
Well,
know this.
What's the thing Logan always tells me? What is it? You live to work or you work to live?
Yeah, again, right? That's like it comes from my parents.
Yeah.
Like my parents was the first generation to say things like that, which is silly because it was sort of split. Like my dad worked his ass off.
Right.
My mom did too. But I don't know that my dad ever like thought about not working to be more comfortable. Like he worked to make all of us comfortable. I don't know how often he thought about his comfort.
Most of the time, as a parent, as the breadwinner and the parent, you don't do it for yourself. Sure, you want to be comfortable as well, but you're working more for your kids and the wife, so they can live comfortably with no issues and not need anything.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Oh, mine just died too, Kevin.
that comes from
Is it wet?
like
Yeah, it's kind of working.
I think it's because it's the paper. The thing might be wet.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a drip.
maybe. We'll find out.
I feel like your parents' generation, mine, whereas like where they came up with all this stuff
Yeah.
was because like they had families and stuff. But I feel like times have changed. Not everyone's having families, so the model needs to change, right?
Yeah, I mean, people are getting married less and having kids less.
And it's like harder to get a house.
Although-
it's harder to do those things. So I feel the model has to change.
I mean, undoubtedly, the model has to change. But how are you going to change it? Like, what are we going to do instead? I mean, on some level, isn't it just like the root? Like, you have to change the core principles first, right?
Right.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with what we're doing now. We have a lot of social media. It can help in a lot of different ways, but it also incentivizes to be lazy in some aspects.
Okay.
Because now people are like, I'm going to get YouTube famous or TikTok. You know, they put all their apples into one basket and don't learn a decent workable skill.
Well, but that's nothing new. I mean, parents have been fighting that battle with their kids for a long time. Now, it wasn't always the same basket, but
Well, yeah, but
I'm going to go to Hollywood and be a star. I'm going to,
Yeah,
I'm going to be a rock star,
musician.
like whatever.
right, I'm
In
going to
the
be a pro
90s,
gamer.
I'm going to go be a skateboarder.
Yeah.
There's always that dream you have to be something cool, right? Like you
Right.
have the aspirations to do something. And yeah, the people that excel at that are the ones who put in the hard work, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to be YouTube famous, well, guess what? It's going to take 2 years on average and tons of work. You're going to have to learn a whole slew of skills, like how to edit software and how to write content and, plan things out, shoot video. Like, you have to learn 20 skills. It doesn't just like, oh, flick your phone out and it happens. Like, that doesn't work that way. Especially now, after COVID, we've had so many people sitting around waiting for nothing to do that they've learned some of these skills and they have started doing that. A few of the channels I watch are dudes who started, during COVID because they were just sitting at home doing nothing, and now they're 2-3 years later. Yeah, they're making it happen, but it took 2 or 3 years for that to really click over and carry on. So it does, but you have to again put the work in. There's no shortcut.
No. Well, for some people there is.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can count on the shortcut. I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's always that chance, right? To, like, something's gonna go viral right off the gate.
Yeah.
Or you get something, you just hit something that happens.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is too, I've noticed is that some people don't take advantage of that, like the smart way. You know what I mean? Like they get it. One of those lucky things happens, but they still end up failing because they just go, oh, well, it takes care of itself. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it doesn't. That's not how that works. You still have to be smart with it. It's like if you won $100,000, are you just going to go splurge it and blow it, or are you going to invest it? And
Right.
people who don't invest it end up just splurging. And then like those people who win the lottery all the time, you hear about them. They're like, oh yeah, we won the lottery. And in my head, I'm like, man, if I won the lottery, I would put most of that money away and try to live off the dividends.
Well,
and you hear people who are like, oh, I'm broke already. And you're like, what? You had like $20 million. How are you broke?
Well, working in a casino, you see that too. People waste their lives on a machine, hit a $2 million jackpot, but then they put it all back and then some. That one lady won here $2 million, and then within, I'd say 9 months to a year, it was all back in. And
Yeah,
she-
but that's gaming. Listen, that's what gaming does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're really good at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
This casino pays its rent on
And
that.
that's not even that's not even a light, we took all our money back story. There's stories in Vegas of people taking back 50, 60 million dollars.
Yeah. I just find it. I find it hard to watch. That's why I don't work in the casino anymore.
Yeah.
It got tiring. It got exhausting to watch somebody blow 4 or 5 years of my pay. And I'm not even making that until 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, that's yeah. When you walk by a table and some dude's like throwing down $1,000 hands in blackjack, and you're like, if you're just gonna throw the money away, just give it to me. Like, I'll take that off your hands. Right. Like, let me help you spend that if you're just gonna blow it on on gambling, because you could just go play $25 hands and it's the same deal.
Yeah.
I get you want the rush, you want to be a high roller, but if you're throwing that much money away, like, just give me the money. I'll put it to good use for you.
I know where to spend it.
Yeah.
I
All
do
right.
feel it's a drive thing as well, though. There's not a lot of that in the world for.
Well, this comes down to character building, right?
Yeah.
does it? I don't know.
Well, they say that people who struggle the most have the best character.
So this brings up a question about what character is.
Okay.
Because I think there's two types of character, right? There's like your moral center,
Right.
but then on a whole different level, and I think a lot of people that get like are ascribed as having character by other people have gone through a bunch of challenges, and so they have a breadth of understanding of other people, and I think sometimes that gets conflated with character.
Okay.
Because when I think of character, I think of someone that has like a moral consistency. That's character.
Okay.
Understanding other people's character is like the character of a sociopath. They know what character looks like, and they might be able to fake it. Doesn't mean when the shit hits the fan, they're actually going to have character.
Ah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
That's
get
not
that.
to say that the people who have gone through shit don't have character, but I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's always the case. I think they have a better understanding of character.
Right.
I don't know that they have character.
I got you.
And maybe I'm just making that up, but off the cuff, that's what it feels like.
Well, just because you go back to people who aren't, like you said, don't have lots of money, right? Like when they come, like if they get a chance to have lots of money, they spend it totally different than people who grew up with it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, people who have it all the time are like, oh, I can just do whatever, and like you give that same amount of money to somebody who's never had it, and they're like, well, I can like squirrel this way and do this, and like the way they go about how they, there's just two totally different ways, Like I wish someone would give me $100,000. I'd save the shit out of it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably spend it, but that's on like paying off my part of my house, bringing down the payment.
So there's a smart right. Like, do you splurge it or do you just
Squirrel it away.
squirrel it? Yeah, like so if you put some towards the house or pay off some bills and but someone who's always got it's not gonna think about that. They're gonna be like, oh, let's just do this. Like let's just go party and get in front lines and let's go to Ibiza.
Party, man.
How was that again, Casey?
Let's go party in Ibiza.
Ibiza?
You ever been to Ibiza?
All right, so you want to know what's sad about this? Because I've got that Woodford back there, and by itself, I really like it.
Yeah.
There's like an 80% chance right now, if my guess is right, that the Jack Brel Select's going to win.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I could be way off, but I have a feeling. Anyway, what do you guys notes on the whiskey?
Oh.
What do you guys think? I can add up my scores already.
I am not quite there yet. On the scores,
Sorry,
at least.
I was talking, so yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh.
So, going back into the casino talk, I watched. Do you remember Mysteries at the Museum?
No.
It was an old show, and it has like 20 some odd seasons, so it was pretty good. It goes over the greatest slot cheat, which is one of my favorite ones because it's kind of like a brown stain on Nevada Gaming Control Board's record.
Was this wasn't the Russian team that had the
No.
cameras in their lapels?
No, this was 92.
That was roulette.
Was it real? No. They did it on slot machines.
Oh, did they?
And the cameras would read the reels on the slot machines and based on their predictive algorithms, so it would tell them when to hit it. And if they hit it exactly the right time.
Oh.
It would key in.
Yeah.
No, this isn't the same one.
Okay.
So, Las Vegas, Nevada, there is the Mob Museum. It's the National Museum of Organized Crime and Law Enforcement. In that museum, there's a little black book known as Nevada's Black Book.
This is the black book from Casino, right?
Yeah, this is one of them, yeah.
That Joe Pesci makes fun of.
Correct.
He's like, there's 3 guys in there, and one of them's still Al Capone.
This lists a ton of different people that have been barred from Nevada casinos.
Oh, yeah, Lefty Rosenthal.
Lefty Rosenthal is
sure.
one. Other
Wait.
one is Ronald Harris.
So it's a book.
It is a book. It's a black book that surveillance and Nevada Gaming use to identify players that should not be gambling.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant it was
either-
like a notebook that someone just had in a museum.
No. It's actually like a printed out book now. It used to be like handwritten. Then they typed it in and printed it out.
Okay.
So this guy worked for Nevada Gaming as their slot security personnel to make sure the code and everything was great. No issues. He got a little greedy. He wasn't getting paid enough. So he decided to create a code and he put it in 44 different machines. Now, he didn't play these machines. He got a friend to do it, as you would, right?
As one would.
Exactly. So his friend would go around and play, hit the button, certain amount of coins, hit the button, certain amount of coins, and it would hit a jackpot. And he got greedy after about 3 years. So we're jumping to 1995 now.
So, just so we're clear, this is the Susan B. Anthony.
Is it? Well, it's the guy who sets up the Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
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 Essentially.
Enter 1 chip, wait 30 seconds, enter 2 chips.
Yeah.
That's the first done. There's 4 more. Yeah.
Yeah, this was him. And so he got greedy and decided to go after something big. There was a $100,000 Keno jackpot in Atlantic City at the Bally's there. The only issue is he created a code.
Casey just drank D.
Oh God.
Casey just drank D. Sorry. He's dying.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
That's good. That's smooth.
I actually like the palette on D. Not going to lie.
Do you? I can tell you it scored the lowest for me.
Okay, well,
Really?
I can tell you B scored the lowest for me.
That's fair.
Anyway, so he goes down. He creates. He gets a copy of the Keno generator, the number generator. He reads the program. The only issue is he has to be there to identify a specific code in order for this guy to get the numbers right.
Yeah.
So he flies out there with his what would you call it? His
Mistress?
no, it's another dude. So it's the other guy
Partner.
playing his partner. Yeah. So he flies out there with his partner, and his partner sits down, and he has an earwig in, and he's radioing to him. All right, these are the numbers you're gonna hit. First time down, writes down the numbers, wins the jackpot instantly. Well, because it's a hard game to win, all the surveillance agents and the security agents come in on this guy, and they
Yeah.
grab him. They take him. It's the 90s, so there's still interrogation tactics going on then.
Yeah.
And he flips on Ronald Harris as being the mastermind. Well, before they can get to his room and they call gaming to come get him, he skipped town. He hopped on a plane and went back to Vegas.
As one would.
As soon as he landed, he was handcuffed.
Yeah.
He wound up getting 7 years as a sentence, and then he's not allowed to go into any casino anymore. I found it interesting because when I look at it, I'm like, he was working for him, so that is a skid mark on them.
He's one of your guys.
He is.
Oh, dude. I mean, there's so many internal theft stories, though, from casinos.
There is.
Because employees are in the best position to steal.
Yeah, mostly you hear about it like pit bosses or like dealers.
Yeah,
or
dealers being in on it, flashing
Yep.
their whole cards,
Yep.
doing stupid shit.
the cage every once in a while,
Yeah.
sneaking chips from when they're rotating chips.
I liked the slot machine one. When they went digital,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
first time they went digital, it turns out that you could, before they fixed the problem, there was a light that read the money. And so guys were hooking up light diodes to key fobs. And they would just stick that light diode inside the bill and click the key fob to light it, and it would just set off $100 like there was nobody's business. And so dudes would just click in there, like $1,000, and then they would just gamble the $1,000 away for free. And then after, if they hit a jackpot or something, they'd be like, "Oh, cool! I hit a jackpot. Let me just go to the next one."
Man, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. It started off as daubing.
Yeah.
So you'd take a little steel quarter-like thing. It didn't read the money properly. It was the size. And then they would just take a string, tie it to it, and
Yeah.
drop it in. Or
What
they
did-
just drop in the daubs.
There was a crew, I don't know, I don't remember if it worked or not. There was a crew that would hit slot machines with tasers. Because
Yeah.
I
Yep.
remember that.
there were the Russian guys with the cameras, which was
Rush-
actually pretty sophisticated. They took a bunch of money out of one of the casinos.
Yeah. 'cause that
The slot
sequence-
machine one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the Scotland Yard one, which is the roulette one.
No, this one was here.
Oh,
This happened in Nevada.
oh no, that's
And-
the one I'm thinking of is in Europe.
And they had a camera, and it would, when it read a certain sequence, you had to hit it. It was like a second and a half after it read the sequence, and you had to get it just right. But if you did it, it'd pay.
That's
Sitting
awesome.
there with a stopwatch.
Well, no, they were just counting it off their head because they had an earpiece
Right.
connected to the camera. So there was something in the camera that would trigger, like they had some
Like a-
software written, so it would
like a
trigger
tone.
when it read a certain sequence.
Yeah.
And they could just, like they would hear like a tone or something and then hit it. Like they'd count off, a beat and a half. So they'd hear the tone, beat and a half, boom. Hear the tone, beat and a half, boom. Right? And when they got it right, it would pay.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then, dude, there's so many stories of dealers just flashing the whole card's the easiest one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, your odds of winning if you know the whole card go up like 35%.
They're bad here.
Oh, yeah. Hard Rock's worse.
They are because they took some of our dealers.
Oh, the director of security and surveillance at Hard Rock one time, who I know personally, was like, if I didn't work here, I could take this casino for hundreds of thousands of dollars whenever I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. How are you guys doing the grades?
Slowly getting there.
All right.
I have another one for next week
All
that I
done.
really like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Kate, you're all done. So you want to give us your grades?
I'm all done.
Here, I should write these all down.
All right.
We got 4. So I got A, B, C, and D.
Yes. Let me know when you're ready.
Go for it.
All right. A was a 65.
All right.
B was a 65.
All right.
C was 80.
All right.
And D is 35.
Yeah. All right, I'll go before Kevin goes. So I gave A a 68. I gave B a 73. I gave C a 71. And I gave D a 65.
Well, you're pretty close on A.
We were pretty close on A. Do you have guesses, Casey, on which is which?
I did, yes.
I'm not going to write those down because I don't care that much.
I think B is the Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
I think C is the Woodfords.
Okay.
And I think D is the Four Roses.
So you think A is the Bowman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
You and I actually agree.
Really?
Yes.
Fascinating.
A I have is 65.
Okay.
Oh.
B is a 65.
Hey.
All right.
C is a 79. And D was an 85 for me.
D was your favorite.
Yeah,
You're sick.
I know.
All right,
It's the
Casey,
mental
you gonna give us
torture
the
I've gone
reveal?
through.
What?
You going to give us the reveal?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Show me
Would you
that.
like the answers? All right.
Would you like to know more?
Sneak peek from next week's topic?
Oh my God! Did both you guys miss that? You both missed that.
Would
Yes,
you
we
like to
did.
know more?
Yeah.
I did
you
not
like
miss it. I know exactly where that's from, son. You want to play that game? I know that game. Let's go. You want to go?
Do it.
Don't think I don't know what that is, son of a bitch.
I'm amazed that Kevin missed it.
Kevin's never seen the movie.
What?
Which movie?
Have you never seen Starship Troopers?
I have seen Star Trek Troopers.
Would you like to know
With
more?
a giant bug looking.
The arachnids
Yeah.
and the brain bug.
I just. My movie.
Or what I say
Corey
every
is
time I kill a
down right
spider in
now.
my house. The only good bug's a
He's a
dead
dead
bug.
Dude, there are parts of that movie that are really campy, but it's so good for what it is.
You gonna put it on you, Casey?
Some bitch.
Oh, we missed it.
Some bitch.
What do you got?
A is the Four Roses.
Okay.
What happened there? Oh, you gotta. That's not even close.
I know, but it drooped all the way down. That's what I'm saying.
Well, adjust the knob thing.
Casey's going for a boat ride.
There we go.
Hey,
Frame him over. Okay, do this, Kevin. Oh, point it that way a little bit. Give him some room on the right. You're gonna make people seasick. Yeah, right there. That's good. Oh no, it's coming back.
Nope.
There we go. That'll work.
All right, don't move. Don't you go changing.
Oh, it's better now than with had that stupid Cine lens on it that weighs a
yeah.
ton.
Oh yeah, it's true, huh?
I don't think the front was tightened down enough.
Ah, it could be.
So A,
Four Roses.
Four Roses.
All right.
B, Jack Daniels. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. C, Woodford.
Okay.
And D, John J. Boomerheimer Smith. That's my name too.
So here's the thing, because I scored C really low,
You did,
But
which
C-
is surprising.
or D really low. D on its own
Yeah.
stands up really well,
Oh, if
but
you
the
s- if you
Bowman
say
never
so.
does well in flights for us.
Yeah,
If you're drinking it alone, it's great,
fantastic.
But when you put it up against other whiskeys, there's something about it that starts to fall apart.
yeah, because it's the fourth one, so it was after 3, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't score it very high. You scored it very low.
Yeah,
I didn't add these up.
because tried to spit death on me. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah. I was surprised actually.
There's a note in the Woodford that I really like when I'm drinking it alone, and against other whiskeys gets a little sour.
You know, I noticed that.
It's almost like a sour honey.
The only reason I knew it was the Woodfords was because it disappeared,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I know what that is. It's not offensive.
But it's when I drink it alone, it just comes across as rich and full.
Yeah.
But with other whiskeys in the mix, it tastes a little bit sour.
It is.
I think
interesting
that's
when
definitely like your first whiskey of the night, especially at that proof.
Yeah, it's one you have to have first.
Yeah. It also could be that it just doesn't go well with cigars.
There's that too.
Yeah,
But
I stopped smoking my
adores the
first
bone.
inch because I didn't even. It went out, and my lighter went out. So
Oh, here.
yeah, so I stopped smoking. So I just started trying it without smoke,
Yeah.
and I think that's
How'd you
what
guys
helped.
like doing it with 4? It adds a little bit of complexity to it.
You know what? 4 does add a little excitement there because you're like, oh.
I'm just wondering what's going to happen if it just drops off on the fourth one every time.
What is
That's
it?
It should.
That's what Casey said. It dropped off on that fourth one. He just
Well, yeah, because that's what the Bowman does. The Bowman
Right.
needs to be by itself. As soon as you add anything else to your palate, especially other like bourbons, no. Really, what sucks is that the A was the highest proof.
You know what I think there's also a thing, though? I don't think the Buffalo Trace flavor profile mixes with cigars terribly well.
That's fair. It is kind of like it needs to be standalone.
Yeah.
Like it's like wine, right? Kind of gets ruined on your palate.
I think that's accurate. But yeah,
my D was gone first, anyways. So
right. I have another bottle of this if you want it.
maybe
It's not amazingly expensive. It's like 47 bucks or something.
that's not bad.
Oh,
at all.
that's not terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's consumer. We've done actual consumer advice.
And on that bombshell,
And on that bombshell,
What's the Jack Daniels rate at?
proof?
Proof and
94?
cost.
It's 38 to 42,
No, it's not bad.
depending where you find it. But
Okay,
you
so-
didn't like that. You scored the Jack really bad.
I did. I scored it a 65 along with the Four Roses, which I
Yeah.
thought I might like. But I mean, that could be one.
you
that
know, I
have
think
to
the
be by
Four
itself.
Roses stands up by itself, but not in a flight either.
It stood up better than the Bowman did.
It did, because when I first I was like, ooh,
But I don't think the Bowman's problem. Actually, I don't think the Bowman's problem is whiskeys. I think the Bowman's problem is cigars. I do. It falls apart like wine falls apart when you have it with cigar.
Which is why I probably scored it higher, is because
It's that because Buffalo Trace is traditionally a little bit sweeter than everything else anyway,
right.
and I think that sweet note goes a little bit bad.
it sours out with cigars.
Yeah.
Because that's the first part of probably the first part of the tannins that gets affected.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I think that's right.
I mean, I'm still gonna finish all of them.
Science.
I mean,
I'm not
What?
gonna do
I was
that.
about
I
to
know
say,
better.
are
give
you-
it a shot. Listen, some stuff blends really well.
I saw your face.
Suicide it all 4 at once.
No, he's already done with D.
Oh, give him your D.
Yeah.
Give him a D. I'll
Oh
mix
my-
3 of them together and
There
see what
you
happens.
go.
So he's mixing the Four Roses, the Jack,
And the wood.
and the Woodford.
Bottoms up.
this
Bottoms
is gonna
up.
suck, and I know it.
He's not disappointed.
Hey, he's not.
I'm not, just slightly confused.
He likes it. He really likes it.
It actually stands out more.
So I'm saying sometimes
Yeah,
stuff
some-
blends really well.
sometimes
those
it
old
does.
Foresters did not.
Sometimes the old Foresters you mix together, they just don't turn out.
We'll see what happens after a couple minutes when it tones down and I can taste everything.
There's an inferno in my throat.
There's a
It's
little
actually
bit
not
of
hot.
extra oak in the Woodford.
Yes. It definitely has more woody notes.
Oh, why did I dump that in the Woodford? I could have had that one by itself still. Dang.
Oh my god! All right.
That's awesome.
I'd even check the nose on that.
What
Yes, but the Jack scored the highest for me. I think the moral of the story is I really just like high-end Jack products.
Yeah, you mean,
Dude, I always have the single barrel barrel proof. I always have one open.
do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's one of the go-tos at the house.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's fantastic.
Huh.
At some point, we're going to open the 10 and the 12 and taste them in here. Ooh. And wait, we do weededs. I picked up on my birthday most I've ever spent on a bottle of whiskey
Really?
on my birthday. Yeah, I bought the Willet Purple Top, the 8-year weeded bourbon.
Is that the one you? Did you drive out to Utah for that, or?
No, the Boo Rye. Still have to do that. I'm trying to figure out. High West, the High West stores ran out, but in the Utah State store system, conveniently you could just go online and see how much every store has and how much is still in the warehouse. So there's still like 1,700 bottles in Utah.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
So all the stores, there's one store that has 18 bottles on hand. All the stores have at least 2. Most of them have like 5 or 6. And then there's another like 1,410, still 1,404 actually was the number, still in the state warehouse. So there's still plenty. I just have to find a time to go to Utah and get it.
listen, they just
That's,
need to ship it this way because they're not going to drink it there. We already know this.
They won't ship it. It's a Utah only release.
So, what else do they have in the warehouse?
They're losing funds.
Oh, I don't know. You can look it up. There's a convenient website that just tells you everything they have.
Because I think it was was it the regular Weller? Yeah, I saw 3 of those outside the local Starbucks the other day.
The other day.
Oh my God. Can you name the colors of the cars that he lists off when he's telling stories?
Which story?
When he's talking about blasting off to Palm Springs, it's like the old days of stealing cars.
Oh, and it's like,
It's like sunbeam yellow,
yeah.
or like I don't know if it's sunbeam or sunburst orange or something.
Yeah, Sunburst Orange just sounds like one of them.
There's a blue in there.
Yeah, just blast off the coast.
Yeah, blast. How he says blast, by far the corniest part of that movie.
Yeah. And then the next day you come back and the cops are all your friends and people are dying.
You know, you're naming off car colors. Well, you were. And all I could think about is 57 Chevy Blue. I really like that color.
That's a good color. It's good.
Yeah.
Good color.
And the sad part is they don't make it.
Oh, one of the guy that owns the shops in Idaho that was in here.
Yeah.
He was talking about cars, and he'd be looking up the new Maserati, the MC20. I don't remember the model number. That is a sexy car.
It's a Maserati. Don't ever. No.
No, I know, but it's
No.
it's sexy.
No.
I wouldn't buy it.
No.
I mean, we're not gonna have the money to buy a Maserati anyway. But
You could because they're cheap.
that color
No.
or that car in powder blue
No. How dare you, sir?
looks really good,
How dare you mention Maserati?
Oh.
This is the poor man's car.
dude. He was
Yeah.
not a fan of that. I don't know what he just did.
I mixed the Jack and 4, and it was
Ooh.
all 3 of them together. Perfect. Those 2.
Not great.
Not good.
Ugh. At least that horrible aftertone.
Oh my god, that's a. Anytime you get the,
That's just going to trigger
you're in a
people.
good spot. You're
Trigger
in a good
people who are
spot.
listening right there.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Oh my God.
100 days, Casey.
Yeah, you want to talk about the writer's strike and the actor's strike.
Because it's important.
It is.
All right, so here's what I thought of when you put this.
Yes.
I think the studios are doing to the writers and actors, mostly the writers,
Yeah.
the same thing people don't understand that we're doing to Russia.
That's fair. That's actually a really fair, comparative. Because it feels just like that.
Yeah.
It really does.
So tell us about the writer's strike.
Dude, so we I think Wednesday or Thursday is the 100-day mark. We've hit the 100-day mark again.
And they've made no progress.
Nothing. Zip. Zilch.
So how did you, because I didn't see that, how did you find out that meeting was really just yelling and screaming?
It was in an article I read.
Yeah?
So they last week I think it was they were gonna have a meeting, and everyone was really excited because it was like, oh hey, they want to talk, and then it just turned into a big shouting match, basically.
Yeah.
Because again, the studio's a studio. They're gonna come out and be like blah 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 blah, and the writers are like, we want our pay, we want our cake, we want to eat it too.
Yeah.
Which is fair. But yeah, then it got nasty though, because
Oh, dude, Bob Iger's stepping on it right now.
yeah, so Bob Iger comes out, he's like, well, because they're about to have their Disney meeting,
Yeah.
the big, phone call for Disney, where they find out that they fucked over Star Wars for the 100th time and they lost a bunch of money on it again. And he came out and he was like, well, I just really want this to get done quickly.
He doesn't.
And
They don't.
some of the writers right now who have been since the 100 days, like one of them was like, dude, I have to sell my house because I can't pay for it right now. And Bob Iger doesn't give a shit about us or our money. He just wants this to go away so that it gets his productions back so he's not losing any money.
Did you, in the first, I think it was 50 days of the writer's strike, Time Warner saved $100 million.
Yeah, I believe it.
Dude, this is the biggest point of contention, I think, isn't residuals and isn't base pay.
No, it's the AI thing.
And it's AI.
Yeah.
The studios 100% want AI.
Yeah.
Because they can just knock out an outline script in
Yep.
25 seconds, add a couple of prompts, refine it a little bit, and then throw it to a polish writer for a day and a half and be done.
Yeah. Hey, Google, write me a TV show.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. No, I think 100% is AI is what's holding up the Writers Guild strike for sure,
Yeah.
and their requirements. But here's the thing: we're out 100 days. The last time this happened was terrible. Like TV shows that did 24 episodes did 12, and they stopped.
Oh, at this point, we're already not going to have TV for,
Oh,
there's going to be nothing
yeah,
new for 3
yeah.
or 4 months.
6
Yeah.
right now, because the way production's moving, they're talking about 6 months. And if we get to 150 days, we're going to be a year behind, like production stuff, because there's no one writing. Everyone's coffers are running out. Like we're running out of things that we've had stored. We're running out of ideas. I'm pretty excited though for me because I'm gonna write my story and try to get put in there.
No, but this
give
is,
me the $10,000 residual. I don't give a shit.
so this is my question, though.
Line jumping.
And I'm sure all the studios, because they all have streaming now, right? They all have a streaming service.
In some way or another, yeah, I would say every major studio answers to or has a streaming service.
So here's my question. How much? Now, Netflix is screwed because they lost so much content. But outside of Netflix,
Yeah.
how much of their revenue is based on new material for streaming? And how much of it is going back and doing what I do and putting something that you've seen 3 or 4 times already on in the background where you're doing other stuff?
Well, I think new material is the builder for more subscribers.
Yeah, but if more subscribers equals X revenue and not paying writers equals Y revenue, and they can project out for 18 months that Y revenue costs more than X revenue, why would you settle?
True. But I think
Like, I wonder if the writers at some point, I desperately hope that, I would assume it's a strong union. Someone has actually gone and done the math
yeah.
and said, this is the date where they're making less off of old content than they are in paying us. Like, this is where the lines cross. Like, right now, they're saving money, and it's costing them very little in lost subscribers, right? So there's a point where those two lines cross.
Right.
That's the point where they have power. There is literally no point in negotiating until they get to that point.
This is true. And I think, honestly, they wanted to get this far because it covered the Screen Actors Guild, too. Because now the Screen Actors Guild is going to go on strike, too.
Yeah. Well, and they're bothered by the AI thing, too. I think that matters less to the studio than the AI for writing.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if the SAG strike gets finished first
Yeah.
at this point.
But they're worried about, like, they're already signing contracts where, and they'll refine the contracts, and they're like, well, they were going to get to use our likeness in perpetuity. Well, they were going to get to use our likeness in perpetuity for a particular purpose, like probably for that project, right?
Yeah.
Because they have to have it for as long as they license the project.
Yeah.
But those contracts will get refined. But they wanted, but they're going to have to sign some sort of a contract where they're getting scanned, and in the editing room, they're recreating their likeness without them doing reshoots. My guess is more than anything else, they want it for reshoots. to get rid of reshoots almost entirely. They're just going to CGI like AI people in.
We can just fix the lighting. We can do this. We can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. We don't need you here.
Okay.
But I'm guessing, like, they might lose some time-based pay for part actors, and that's just something they're going to have to deal with. The big actors won't lose anything because their contracts will be tailored to them anyway. They already are.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but I think the writers are screwed.
Oh, I think so too. And it's like,
My guess is those lines don't cross. Like it's cost beneficial to them to not pay writers and just keep licensing old material
yeah.
for probably until the end of football season.
Oh, you're thinking like February.
Yeah.
So what's that? Another 150 days
Yeah.
ish, maybe more.
Yeah. Damn near.
Yeah, that's scary.
No, I don't think the writers will be able to hold out that long for sure.
Oh,
Well,
they
that's-
already aren't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's the problem is these like I said, these guys are selling their houses. They're just dumping stuff because
Well-
they can't do anything. I mean, some of them probably will take jobs somewhere else.
But for
But-
lack of a nicer way of putting it, as they separate out the chaff and they're negotiating with less and less people, those people are more willing to take contracts where, they're getting a certain amount, they're getting more for the polish work and for the continuous like writing that goes on to determine what the episodes look like inside of a story.
Right.
Like the initial storylines are going to be built long before the writers see it. And they're just going to be like, they're going to miss steps 1 through 3, and they're going to be through there for steps 5, 6, and 7, or 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to get more for that, but they're going to get less than they would have gotten normally.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it's going to be.
And it just sucks.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, because we already talk about how crappy TV is.
Oh, it's so
Genuinely.
bad.
Like, it's really hard to find good TV shows to watch.
But maybe it's good because maybe all these people go work on indie projects and set up independent studios where they're partial owners and writing, and they work a conglomerate with
Okay.
actors.
Yeah.
And then you have small studios producing real movies and TV shows and then selling them to the larger studios as distribution houses, effectively,
Okay.
rather than having these one-stop shops where they do everything. Everything's made in committee, and it's all just awful.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
Well, because then if you've produced new content, right, the copyright exists because it's your new content.
Right.
And then you don't have to, like, the writing fees don't apply, the acting fees don't apply because everyone's an owner taking some cut in the small distribution house. And the sales contract is a sales contract. And the licensing in perpetuity is worth a certain amount of royalties. They don't have to worry about what they're getting paid as an employee because they're collecting as being an owner.
Okay. I'd be for that.
I mean, I'm just for these places getting smaller anyway. We got better movies when these houses were smaller.
Well, I mean, some of the best movies out there are the cheapest movies ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can still argue, like what? Like the first Halloween was worth $75,000, and it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And it made
Right.
some obscene amount of money.
Still
Yeah.
holds up.
Wrath of Khan, $250,000, and it ended up making like $37 million or something like that. So there's something about that.
And that, the amount of money that they've made off those smaller movies is amazing to me most times.
Well, because you have to try harder.
Yeah, you have to put your stuff out there. You got to put more effort in so people will actually get into it. I mean, there are those movies where it's just like, okay, you threw something out there. You tried, I think. But then you have those movies where it's like minimal money, but
Well, it's like think about like these last ones that came out, right? Like the big budget. Oh, we spent $500 million, and we got back 35. Like the Flash movie.
Right.
Granted, that one had some bad press behind it, and
Good.
nobody likes that kid anyway. But still, they spent all that money on that movie to get $35 million back.
Indiana Jones
Indiana
isn't
Jones.
going to be profitable. They're going to lose $300 or $400 million on that.
Indiana Jones got wiped off the map real quick. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like it was like, hey, it's out, and all of a sudden it was like, no, Mission Impossible and Oppenheimer out.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't even see that on their streaming service.
It's because they have to recoup that cost.
Oh, I imagine it'll come out soon.
I don't.
On
I do.
streaming.
It might come out for like a month and a half, and then it's going to be gone. It's going to be like Willow.
It'll go to Freevee.
Just disappear, just gone.
Disney's going to throw it in the vault
Yeah,
and not talk about it.
Yeah, but again, that's that's millions of dollars just turned down.
Should have done that with the Crystal
When
Skull.
you can just spend less and try to make something like there's a challenge there, right?
Yeah.
When you go, okay, we have $1 million to make this movie. I'm gonna need some guys to take some pay cuts. We're gonna work late, and we're gonna have to kind of fudge most of the movie because I don't have money for permits.
Well, this is the part where I'm not terribly sympathetic with the writers and the actors because they all want to get paid like owners. But this is now, there's no risk in being an owner of Disney, right? First, talk about shareholders. So being the CEO of Disney, there's no risk.
Right.
But outside of the top, we're going to say 100 corporations in the country.
Okay.
In being an owner, there's almost always risk. In owning the shop, there's risk, right?
Right.
We face them every day, whether it's the casino, supply of cigars, price increases, weather-affected weekends in the winter. There's real risk in being an owner.
Yeah.
I have no problem. If you want to get paid like an owner, go be an owner and accept the risks of owning something, right? Sometimes you're going to fail and it's not going to make any money. Other times you're going to succeed and it's going to be a massive windfall. But in owning something, you're also responsible for it. So if these writers and actors and, independent producers and directors go build something and they own it, I think what we get will just be better. But they're also taking on the risk. I have no problem with that part. Go take on the risk.
Right.
Like, show me something, right?
Yeah.
Just in this stupid podcast where we've got, 24 subscribers or whatever it is. Like, buying whiskey, buying equipment. Everyone who tries this, right? You don't think about it. And we're not talking about massive amounts of money, but it's enough, right? It's a risk.
Yeah.
Like, that part, I'm not sympathetic at all.
For that side.
No.
Gotcha.
If you want to get paid like an owner, go do owner things.
Right.
Put some of your money towards it yourself.
Now, do I think that dude should be forced to sell his house? No, I don't. That's just mean. But if you want to make the big paycheck, go put yourself on the line a little bit.
No, I get that.
Don't just show up and expect to get paid.
No, I get that. But what this really stems from is those, let's stick 5 writers in a room for the first 2 weeks and make them do all the work. And then just go, okay, you guys are done. And, we paid you for 2 weeks, but we'll keep on like 2 writers for whatever in case there needs to be corrections and stuff. But your work's done, so we only had to pay you for 2 weeks. That's what they're complaining about.
Well, but it's worse. It's kind of worse than that for the writers. But on some level, it's also like you take what you get, right? Because it's not put 5 writers in a room for 2 weeks with a blank slate. Because because it's so middle of the road, you can't vary from this. You have to meet these check boxes. It's here's an itinerary. Here are the things that have to exist in the story. Build something around it. Like, none of this is organic anyway at this point.
Yeah.
No, and I just can't stand what is being produced right now. I think so much of it is just bland and awful.
Yeah, like my standards are less than yours, so I'll watch some crap, but even now it's I'm just watching old stuff again.
And then the good stuff gets canceled.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Prodigal Son, by the way.
Yeah, Mindhunter.
Mindhunters. Oh, it was so good.
So good.
So good.
Gone.
Go. Yeah.
And instead we get our, 342nd Marvel movie with the same storyline.
No. Or then you fuck off The Witcher because you don't want to.
Oh, they fucked it off so bad, but
So
they're
bad.
paying a huge price for that.
That's right.
They're
Fuck
getting
you.
smoked for The
Fuck
Witcher.
you, Netflix.
As they should.
Oh, yeah. Dude, did you see one of the guys, Nerdrotic maybe, did a screen time analysis of The Witcher in The Witcher? And in the last 3 episodes, he had like 23 minutes of screen time.
Really?
Yeah, in like 3 hours.
Wow.
He had like 23 minutes.
Wow.
He was only on screen for 16% of the time. For the first 5 or 6 episodes, whatever part 1 was, I think
Yeah.
it was 5 episodes.
Yeah.
He was only on screen for 45 minutes. It was
Really?
like 26% of the screen time.
Wow.
And he's the title character.
Last time I checked.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, yeah.
They're like, we don't know. Well, and then they come out. I was the CEO of Netflix or one of the VPs or something came out and he was like, well, it's really that this audience just doesn't understand what we're doing.
Yeah, they blamed the audience. It was the
And
audience's
when
fault.
is it the audience's job to understand what you're doing?
Yeah. First of all, you didn't understand the audience when they said, hey, the first 2 seasons were fantastic. Just keep doing that.
Like, if your shit's good, they're going to figure it out, right? They're going to pay attention. They're going to watch it 3 or 4 times. They're going to understand what it is they don't get.
Yeah.
If your shit's bad, they're going to turn it off.
And watch something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only watched the first 2 episodes of that season because
I made it through part 1. I
Wow.
just, part of it was because you know how I watch TV.
Yeah, you just put it on the side and do
Yeah, and I do other stuff.
Yeah.
Part 2, I made it through like 14 minutes of the first episode, and I couldn't even have it on the background.
Wow.
It's like, nope, this is terrible. Like, there's that point you're doing something, you're like making breakfast, and you look over your shoulder, you're like, oh, this is really bad.
This is
that's
awful.
right. This is horrible. We're
This is awful.
changing it to West Wing.
Yeah.
Although the Lincoln Lawyer was really good.
I
Oh, I
still
still
have to
haven't
watch
watched
that
that.
one.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Oh man,
What's
you
it
guys,
on right now?
They just finished season 2.
It's
No,
on
but what channel? Or what service?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix. I don't have that one still.
So they got that right, but they fucked off The Witcher.
Yeah.
Yes, the Lincoln Lawyer so
Do you-
far is but it's on season 2 now.
Do you have
We'll see if they make it by season 3.
any confidence that Ahsoka's going to be good?
Oh man, I don't know.
There's a lot of hope.
The trailers look kind of cool, but
Didn't we think that about Andor though?
Andor was cool for the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, if you just skipped the first 2/3
Get to the
and,
last
and
third.
then like watched it from the prison break on, it's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nailed it.
100%. Right where it should have been the whole time. I don't. You know, I'm glad the first 2 episodes come out.
Because if they're terrible, you just don't have to watch it again.
Yes, like 2 episodes gives me a chance to go, okay, you did good. This feels like Star Wars. Or
All right.
you done fucked up again.
I need to pipe in because you didn't think I would watch it, and I did.
Oh, what'd you watch?
Ooh.
I watched the musical episode
Oh, did you
of
really?
Strange New Worlds.
And
First of all, it's really, really good. Here's my problem.
really,
Here's my problem.
It's a musical.
No. Is that as soon as I saw fucking Klingon, I was like, I need a Klingon musical. And you only got it for like 15 seconds.
you need to cling on.
Listen, I didn't want the ship to be happy and singing together. I wanted them to realize that for enough like melodic harmony to close this thing, they also needed the Klingon ship and to bait them into a full-on 2-ship Klingon musical. This is what I wanted, and they didn't do it.
You know, I kind of had the same thought.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. But I still also want to know what Shakespeare and Klingon is like. Like I would kill to see that.
Right? No, as soon as there's a Klingon warbird approaching, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to get a Klingon musical.
There going to be more song and dance.
And then it didn't really happen, and I was disappointed.
Well, to be fair, most of the time you saw Klingons in Deep Space Nine when they were on the ship, like their ship, they were just drinking and kind of singing war songs. So that's kind of the thing they do anyway.
No, I know, but choreographed.
Yeah, no, that's it was definitely missing that section. Yeah.
This is what I needed and
was,
didn't get.
But it was a fantastic episode of Star Trek.
It was good.
See,
Even a musical episode was fantastic. That's how you know they're doing it right.
I enjoy seeing that you can nerd out about something like that. Because, like, every time I talk about something, I get a look. But I enjoy hearing it when you actually nerd out.
No, as soon as they were like, there's a Klingon warbird approaching, I was like, oh my God, are they going to do it?
Giddy like a schoolgirl.
Is that what we're going to get?
Oh, he's like, what? What's this? What's this? No.
No, that was a little bit of a letdown.
That's yeah. If there's one thing to be said about that episode, that is the letdown.
Yeah.
Who
The
knows?
rest of it was fantastic.
They might do another episode just for that.
yeah, someone watches this, they're like, shit. We
How did
missed our
they
chance.
know what we're doing for season 3? Or it shows up on the lower decks because
You know.
that's coming out soon too.
Right?
Thank God. Thank God we have like a trail still of decent things. Because like lower decks is
What?
going to get us to October, and then Jack Reacher season 2 is
Also, by
Christmas.
October, as much as I'm not like committed to it anymore, like I can always just default to the NFL.
Yeah, at least there's football and
Yeah.
Formula One.
Yeah, I get Thursday, Sunday, Monday. Like I could just turn on games and not think about
And
it.
just be done, be happy.
Yeah,
Just like blah.
it's enough TV time. I don't like.
Yeah,
I'm good.
that's fair. That's fair. We just have to get there. Just but come springtime, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I think spring into summer is gonna be terrible.
No, I think it's gonna be really bad.
Yeah.
The droughts of the world of the digital era.
Oh my God, when did we start this tonight?
About an hour and 10 minutes ago.
Okay. I might fade early.
You're looking like it.
Fade
I have been up since
away.
4:30 in the morning.
4:30.
I mean, yours was recreational choice.
I know, but it
First
was
world problem.
a long ass drive to a round of golf that hurt like hell, and then another long ass drive.
Yeah, you gonna ice that thing or something, or you just gonna have
No,
to let
it's
it
too
be?
late. It's too late.
Is it your shoulder?
No,
You
it's
good?
my elbow.
Oh.
He has golfer's tennis elbow.
Golfer's
I
tennis.
fucking I hit a shot. So I played 2 days in a row. Right, played Edgewood yesterday. Played Grizzly Ranch today. And on the 7th hole at Edgewood yesterday, I hit a drive, and as soon as I hit it, my fucking elbow lit up. I was like, well, that's strange.
Did you hit wrong or?
I just twisted over really hard, like it caught funny. I think I actually caught the heel of the driver, and it flipped over on me, and then it jerked my elbow out or something. I don't know.
Nah.
And it bothered me progressively through the rest of the round. Like it just got worse and worse and worse. And then today, I woke up and was like, it's not that bad. Drove out there. Took me 20 swings just to be able to make a full swing.
You should
Like-
take some IBUs.
And then on 9, we stopped because they're the like stop for snacks people. Like when I play, I usually just go straight through.
Yeah.
We stopped. They got some food. Went back to 10. Couldn't make a swing. Had to re-loosen up my elbow.
How old was the group that you were golfing with?
They're all my age.
Okay. They just need snack breaks.
They are, you say first world problems. They are definitely first world golfers. Like, they're buying the shirts and the balls and the markers from the
Oh,
courses.
yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
like, eating before and then getting snacks and then sitting down and eating at the clubhouse after on the patio. And,
No.
like, they're definitely first world golfers.
It's a McGriddle for breakfast.
Oh, dude.
You get to the course, you contemplate having a Bloody Mary, you light a fucking cigar, and then you really wish you had brought a sandwich by the time you're on the 9th hole, and you just go, I'm powering through this bitch.
I
Give me
didn't
another
smoke
Bloody
out there
Mary."
today because I knew I was smoking in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
At least you held out for that, I guess.
Oh, that's rough. Golfing without cigar.
Yeah, but if he would have done that and then came in,
No,
he'd
he
be
wouldn't have came in.
miserable.
Oh, dude. I wouldn't have been smoking. I would have just had the whiskeys and a Dr. Pepper and been like, I'm good.
We would have just sat Will next to you. He can smoke.
Yeah. Will, how's that cigar?
Insert smoking.
Tell me about it.
Smoking stunt double.
These aren't them.
Don't worry.
You've caught their stunt doubles.
Don't worry, we got some B-reel of it.
Just use an old cut of Lane, just smoking, just dub over.
Completely different shirt. Words don't even, like, the mouth is completely off.
Like a terrible kung fu movie. But he's smoking, he's happy, he's fine. He's like, this is great. This is real good.
Hey, people would probably still do
I love smoking the cigar.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Like, what is happening right now?
This cigar, it killed my father.
This looks so awkward. Yeah.
Prepare to die.
You have 6 fingers on your left hand. Yeah.
I got one more topic if you guys want to go for that.
What do you
Yeah,
got?
man, we
What do you
got
got,
plenty of
buddy? Let's
time.
go.
So I had another one that I really liked, and it was
Wait, now, hang on. What kind of topic is this?
another casino one.
Oh, okay.
Is that good?
I thought, was this one of those, like,
You know,
silly,
I will say,
I
like,
can go into anime one if you
Before
want.
he gets to this, we're getting to that time of year. We're going to have to do an episode on sports betting.
Oh,
Yeah, we
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
We should bring in our guy,
Which one?
Purdue.
guy?
The one that struggled with it. Used to work here?
Paul?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know where Paul's at
No
anymore.
one
I
knows
don't
where Paul
either.
is.
I haven't seen him in forever.
The last time I heard, he was out there at the dollar store, and then
No, he left
Oh, that
there.
was before.
yeah,
And then he was back here,
here, then he
at
got
the
fired.
sports book.
At the sports book.
yeah,
And I haven't seen him since.
He got, I think he was barred from there.
Yes, he was.
Well,
So what do you got? What is your cool casino topic?
the World Series of Poker.
Oh.
Do you guys know how it started?
How it started?
How it started?
In what, 1950 something?
1951.
Okay. With Doyle Brunson winning a bracelet?
No, it was not Doyle Brenson winning a bracelet. It was
Somebody win a bracelet?
no.
I doubt they even
was
had
like,
bracelets.
It
then.
was like the buy-in was $2 million. It was between two of the bigger guys, Johnny Moss and Nick the Greek. I can't even say the last name, man.
Nick the Greek. That says
Nick the Greek. Anyways, so they're playing.
that's just a really good casino name.
It is.
Actually.
I enjoy the name. If it would have been done in like Caesars, it would have been great. Well, I don't know.
Did it start at the Horseshoe?
It did start at the Horseshoe. It
I got that
started
right
at,
at least.
Benny Binion's Horseshoe Club in
Yeah.
Vegas. And the reason why he started it is because he was competing with the rest of the casinos out there that were big, flashy, and had a bunch of things going on. He was struggling.
Yeah.
So he had this idea. He's like, all right, I'm going to take these two top players who have lost and won millions of dollars. They've never played against each other. I'm going to put them together against each other in this poker series and let them duke it out and see if I can't get people to come in. Within the first couple hours, Moss was down 1.5 mil. Benny decided to back him and decided to pull money from his pocket and back his plays in order to keep the game going. As the game progressed, it started lasting longer. It went from 3 days, 5 weeks, wound up lasting 5 months. On and off play between the Greek and Moss. And in the end, a pair of nines won the poker tournament with Moss winning all 4 mil.
So the pair of nines is the Moss hand?
Apparently, it is the Moss hand. This then got him recognition because a bunch of people started gathering around before it ended. So later on, he put money into his casino. It became larger and an enterprise, essentially. So what happens next is he's like, all right, I'm going to do it again. I think it was like 1955 is when he decided to put in again. 1970, my bad.
Okay.
Quite a few years later, 1970, he decides to set it up. This time he calls it the World Series of Poker. And that's how it began, is him needing some sort of saving grace to get him out of the hole.
There are some of the greatest stories in Nevada come out of Binion's.
It does.
There was a point in Binion's history where they had a big player that had every chip that was $100 or bigger. So if they had a player come in, they actually had to call him and get him to come cash in chips. And then eventually he gave it all back.
He just had them? Like he was just holding on to them?
Yeah, he didn't cash them in when he won. He just held them.
Why?
And then I don't know if this is accurate, but when Binion sold to Harrah's, there was $1 million in a glass case
Oh, yeah.
in the lobby.
I did hear about that one, yeah.
I don't know if this is accurate. I've never actually looked it up. Like I've never taken the time to vet it because the story's too cool. I just want to accept that it's true and move on.
Yes.
And somebody came in and he was a player at Binion's and he's like, look, he goes, I've been playing here my whole life. I just really want the $1 million. He goes, I will transfer you $1 million. He goes, I want the glass case and everything. And the people at Harrah's are like, whatever, sure.
Get that shit out of our
So
lobby.
they sell him $1 million for $1 million, just a straight across swap. They didn't take the time to look. Everything in there was a brand new silver certificate. It was worth like $14 million.
They deserve that. I'm not gonna lie.
Right? Oh, deserve that 100%. I hope that's true.
That's the most Vegas story I think I've ever heard. It
Right?
really is.
Yeah.
Wait, so the World Series of Poker didn't start on a steamboat?
No, it didn't. It actually just started in Vegas at a Binion's Horseshoe Club.
It wasn't a steamboat competition?
That really is what they just mimicked in Maverick, the World Series of Poker.
Yeah, I
right?
feel like that's really...
Even the buy-in is the same, I think. It's 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy-in's still the same.
Exactly. Maverick.
Yeah.
I think they should have a Maverick World Series of Poker. And you have to dress up like cowboys and go play poker.
An old-timey World Series of Poker?
Yes, I want that.
Listen, I know you would probably hop on that.
I would get on that so hard. I don't even play poker. I don't even give a shit.
I'd have to learn
I
the
just
game
want to like
again.
go and dress, just sit around and have fun.
I've never sat down and played poker. I know the game.
Oh, I have.
Just never
Like
sat
in
down
a
and played.
casino or
Yeah.
at all?
At all.
You've never played
Nope.
like
If
Not
you know
with a
the
group
game,
of
why not? Well,
friends?
poker's a grind even if you know the game.
Yeah.
no.
Unless you've got a mark on the table.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if you've got someone that's just giving away money, it's no longer a grind. But if you're with a bunch of guys that can play, it's a grind.
Listen, I know I'd be probably the mark at that point. I
Well,
cannot hold a lot of
especially-
energy in.
Well, especially up here, because all the guys who play in that room are like buddies.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's a
In the one room that's left?
yeah,
Oh, dude, don't walk into that room if you don't know what you're doing.
yeah. That's
Because they will just take your money.
Yeah.
and they'll play with
There's some real players in that room.
you. Yeah.
Could you play there?
No, but Adam could.
Adam could.
Yeah.
I'm never playing against your brother then.
Adam can listen as much as he can play poker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't that wasn't that the Delta Force guys kept inviting him over because he
No,
kept,
it was the PsyOps guys.
yeah, that's right.
Those poor bastards.
Yes.
They kept inviting him. They knew they were losing. They just kept. It was like a challenge. Like if we one of these days we're gonna beat him.
One of these days we can win.
One of
One of
these
us will.
days we're gonna beat him.
And every
Listen,
time,
everyone
just a
thinks
wash.
it's about tells in poker and reading your guy, and I mean that's the last like 3%. 97% of poker is being able to look at a table and your hand and know exactly what the odds are.
Yeah, that's all. It
That's
is.
that's 97% of the game.
Yeah,
If you can't look at a table, look at the cards on the table and the cards in your hand, and know what the odds are that your hand's the winner, and what else is out there, you have no business on the table.
It's a single deck, 52 cards, right?
Yeah. No, it's straight up. Like it's not shoes. We're not talking about blackjack. It's not like counting cards. It's really easy math, but you have to know it. You have to be able to do it on the fly.
yeah,
Like you have to be able to like you have all 5 cards in Texas Hold'em are on the deck, right? And you've got your 2 cards. Without like you need to be able to look at it, pull up your cards, put them back down, and know exactly what your odds are.
Yeah, I don't think I could play then, especially against your brother.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
mean,
probably could with practice.
Listen, there's only so many odds on the table, which is convenient.
Right.
It's a lot like dealing blackjack, and then eventually you stop counting because you just know what they all are.
yeah. You can get
Like-
you get the printout sheet. that
You
shows
look at combinations that you've seen thousands of times, and you don't have to add them up. You just look at it and you go, "That's 18." You know, that's
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
And then sometimes someone will check you, and you'll count it out loud to them on the table, and you're like, "Yeah, it's 20." But at some point, you just stop counting. Like, not counting cards in the like better sense. You stop counting your cards to build your hands or anyone else's cards. Like you're not even doing math when you're flipping over cards. When people like hit me, and you're like boom, 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 bust, and you just take them.
Yeah.
Like you don't even think about it. You're like boom, 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 23. You grab it up.
That's why when you watch poker, you see guys who just look at cards and in your mind you're like, oh, I'd keep those, and they just throw them away because they know the percentage.
Well, they're not. This is the thing, right? Everyone thinks that like they're looking at their hand, like they're looking at their hand. They're thinking about the other cards on the table. It's bullshit. They pull up their cards. You immediately work out the odds, right? Like you're 70%. You put it back down. So now you know you're 70%, and you're just looking at how everyone else has bet, and based on how they're betting, is anyone have like the cards that beat me based on how they've bet so far? Yes, fold. No, push in. That's how you play poker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to play a game someday.
It's
I
fun,
mean, it
it's
can be a
fun
lot
with
of fun.
friends. It's fun with friends.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and if you take like 2 or 3 guys that you know to the table, like you all sit at the same table, that could be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
'Cause
bringing trail
you're,
mix.
Then you're a team.
Because at the very least, all 3 of you are the mark, and you're not taking the brunt of it.
Right.
Yes.
And if you're
Exactly.
good, all three of you are picking out another mark. But it's, listen, and I hate cliches, but this one fits at a poker table. If you don't know who the mark is,
You're the marks.
it's you.
That's
I
true.
will instantly know it's me every time I sit down.
Yeah, like if you can't look at a table and go, that guy's the mark, you're the mark.
It's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I mean, there are some tables out there. I've seen a couple tables in Harvey's room where everyone at that table could play,
Yeah.
which
so-
is a terrible game of fucking poker. Because at that table, you're actually playing real odds. You're getting 2 winning hands an hour. It's just
Yeah,
a
it's-
brutal fucking grind.
That sounds rough.
It's a
It
sludge
is.
match.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the first contest
And-
went for 5 months.
Listen, you're
That
getting
is
2
true.
winning hands an hour, and you don't know your position on those hands, right? So you might get both winning hands out of position and be fucked on both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it becomes reading each other at that point, right?
Yeah, it looks the last 3%, but you're not really reading them. You're reading their betting patterns. It's just, okay, think of it like finding a card counter.
Yeah.
You're not looking for like a smirk or, whatever. I mean, they might give you a tell.
You're looking
whatever.
for bet
That's not
deviation.
what, yeah, you're looking for bet deviation, 100%. You're looking at how they bet, and then you're looking at when they deviate. And then you're putting that into a system and going, based on that and my cards, I'm winning this hand. I'm pushing in.
I mean, every casino will use high-low because it's the easiest one, and it actually reads pretty much all of them still. You'll still see the bet variation.
Oh, yeah, for counting cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, it's just
Listen-
picking the right one to get the percentage that you need.
There is absolutely no way to hide your betting patterns in counting cards.
Yeah.
You just can't do it because you have to amortize your losses.
I had a guy, and it was interesting. I knew he was counting, but he was like 80% every time
Yeah.
because he was switching in with high and low, not high and low, but like progression.
But at
Winning
80%,
progression,
are you even
losing-
doing anything?
No, it has to
Yeah.
be 90, which is what was the issue. Is he was 86, but he was using winning and losing progression every once in a while, which was skewing the bets.
Yeah. And fucking him over.
Exactly.
Like he's never going to be, he's not accurate enough to take advantage of the count.
Right.
Like he's going to end up giving the casino money in the end
Well,
with
there-
that system.
There's that, and then like, okay, you're playing to the count. Got it. Are you playing right to the count? Are you deviating when you should be? Are you goofing around? Are you just chunking money out there at times where you think it's going to be good?
Yeah.
It's still partially based off of
but-
luck, but
well, but that's it.
You're
Those-
evening it.
Those deviations put the odds back in the house's favor.
Correct.
They just do, right? And the other side of that too. I mean, there's other things too, right? Like, oh, you're gonna go count cards on a 6-5 table? Have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to
good
do 3-2.
luck.
Yeah.
Unless you're chunking money out there and you have money, 6-5's not going to do anything. Even when you have money.
Even if you're betting appropriately to the progressions of the count on a 6-5 table, do it all day long. Have fun, because you're gonna fuck up more than you're gonna take from us.
See,
At
c-
some point, you're gonna screw it over.
Yeah, because the guys I paid attention more were the ones that asked, can we make this a 3-2 game?
Yeah. Is it a 3-2 game? Are they betting insurance?
Yeah.
2 first questions.
If they're betting insurance, 10-1, they're not counting,
Yeah.
usually.
But that's it, right? Like, you ask some really basic questions. This is like, people understand how transparent this shit is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can win. Just know you're going to get caught.
If you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Like, and to do it right, cash management, basic strategy. You have to know cold.
Yeah, you have
And
to
I
know.
mean cold.
By heart, basic strategy, have your money management down, and when it's time to deviate, deviate.
Yeah. And I believe it's 18 deviations that really matter,
Yeah.
and the rest are basically irrelevant. And if you're screwing up one of those 18 deviations, keep going.
Wow.
Like, play the game. Yeah.
I mean, your odds get pretty good when you just play basic strategy in general.
Well, this is it. The hold on blackjack isn't great.
No.
Like, if you're, but also, if you're playing basic strategy, you're going to lose eventually. It's a
Yes.
guarantee. Yeah.
True.
Fair.
All all counting cards does is tell you, because most people, they're deviating on their gut.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is a winning hand. I think this is a losing hand. They're
Chunk.
playing deviations off of basic strategy. All counting cards does is give you a system, a proven system for deviating your bets off of basic strategy.
Yes.
That's it.
That's why when I hear everybody say, I got a system,
Oh, dude.
I laugh
Oh,
so hard
yeah.
on the inside.
Oh, this is the best.
It is hard to talk straight to them sometimes when they tell me
Oh.
that.
Dude, I love the people that are like, yeah, when I lose, I just double it up. I'm like, oh my God.
right.
I can't. I just can't. Yeah.
Losing progression right there.
Yeah.
I lose, I double. It's not I lose, I go up by a quarter. No, it's I lose, I double.
Yeah.
Let it ride.
All day long, man.
Let it
Casino
ride.
will take that all day long.
Yes. The funny part is the guy who created that apparently punched a bunch of numbers into a computer for it to give him this algorithm for basic strategy.
I believe it.
And like there's several different basic strategies now.
Yeah.
The original one is a little different, and like when you're playing single deck compared to multi deck, it changes quite a bit actually in certain areas for your basic strategy.
Yeah.
I always got confused on
Well,
A7.
it shouldn't unless you're counting cards.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't because eventually the laws of large numbers kick in. And it will default to the exact same holds and percentages as a single deck
Yes.
over time.
Over time, yeah. Usually the sweet spot is when you get towards the end of the deck is when the count actually starts to matter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you're running out of
And then
probabilities.
like you're not always only doing that. You're going off. There's shovel tracking that they're paying attention to. How much is cut? Is it a third of the deck? Is it a quarter of the deck? And sometimes that changes.
Better be no less than a deck and a half.
Yeah, shouldn't be less than a deck and a half, but sometimes.
Well, that's the minimum they teach you in dealer school.
Yeah.
Deck and a half.
Well, wasn't it like 17 cards on a single deck when you cut it, like right around there?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't give you a number.
But yeah, it should come out more than 13 or 17 on a single
Yeah.
deck.
On a cut?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then for double deck, it's like 34, which is essentially the deck itself,
Yeah.
almost. And then for like 6 and 8, deck and a half. And it was always funny to watch some of the dealers cut their
But
cards.
on a deck, you block it out. You throw that second split card in there
Yeah.
for when you're going to stop on the shoe. On a single deck and a double deck, there's only the block on the bottom. You have to know when to stop.
Yeah.
Which, dude, if you like, every dealer's done it. When you run through your deck
Oh,
in
you
your
run
hand,
out?
I've watched that a couple of times.
every dealer has done it
And
at
like,
least once.
They look disappointed. The players are disappointed, and then the pit boss comes over and just shakes his head.
Yeah. No, you want to talk about a look of disappointment? Pit boss in that situation every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Casino gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hard Rock's changing, right?
To the nugget.
Nugget.
Golden
yes.
nugget.
So I have an update for that.
Oh, yeah?
So, remember how we heard they were going to be done by the 24th, end of August?
Yeah, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's the deal.
That's when they're closing.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So this is a cash deal, by the way.
Well, yeah, the dude's worth $9.5 billion.
Oh, I know, but I was surprised. I was like, holy shit, he just went straight up cash. So yes, it officially will be done by August 24th.
Okay.
Is this the one
That's-
in Reno? Or
No,
the
that's
one...
right across the street.
Across the
Well,
street.
yeah, but I'm asking, is it the guy in Reno who's buying it? Or the one
No,
in
it's
Carson?
Tillman Fertitta.
Yeah,
It's
Okay.
neither. It's the guy that owns Landry's.
Okay.
And then a bunch of the Nuggets in Vegas.
And the
Rockets,
the
Houston Rockets.
Yes. So they interviewed him about the Hard Rock property. His comments were, "I look forward to uplifting every square inch of that property in a project that we now have planned out for the next 24 months."
Oh, thank God.
So they are going to do a huge restoration on that building.
So they're just going to close it down.
I don't know if they're going to close it down.
Dude, that's such a
necessarily,
hard live remodel.
Yeah, because
But yeah, Apparently, their project layout is for 24 months.
I hope they just level the back tower.
So, but they'd
I'm
have
curious.
to scrape it, don't they?
You
For
have
the
to, they
asbestos?
have to bag it.
Yeah, so it's the back tower, I think, before any actual demo costs, you have to take a bunch of precautions anyway, but it's also a $10 million bond to ensure that you have money for cleanup after it's demoed.
Yes, but if there's anyone who's going to do it, it's this guy.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for.
This guy could probably make it work.
His comments were, every inch of that's going to get touched, and it's 24 months right now is their planned out project date, starting in September, I think.
So it's not going to be makeup on a pig. It's a full.
No, it's a full-on new
Dude,
luau.
they have to gut the entire property.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of asbestos still in the front, isn't there?
There's a lot of asbestos everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that casino
there's-
is going to change.
There's so much dead space in that building.
A lot of it isn't used because didn't they cap off one of the sections for one of the restaurants? Like the buffet?
One
Well,
restaurant's
half the
closed.
buffet is still there and walled off.
Yep,
The entire Four Seasons restaurant is still walled off.
the movie theater.
The movie theater is still closed off. All of main kitchen is not used. All of the banquet kitchen and the bakery is not used. There's
Yeah.
a ton of space in that building that's just sitting there dead.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this project now. And I'm excited for the Harvey's project because I got a greenlit too.
Yeah, and then Harris is right behind it, right?
Yes.
What are they
So
doing?
then the only property that's got to do something is this one.
Yep. Pretty much.
Well, hopefully they figure it out.
Dude, Harvey's is getting fucking 9 figures.
Yeah.
Like comfortable like it well into 9 figures. They're going to redo the whole property, the whole gaming floor.
But they still make money over there.
Oh, but they're turning this into like the new age.
So
kids-
Harvey's,
kids-
so they're splitting up the business models. So Harris is going to be high-end luxury, big players. Harvey's is going to be younger crowd, energy, probably the nightclub over, named restaurants, Hell's Kitchen. They're getting the Vanderpump restaurant at Harvey's. Should be good.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I can't see wait to see what they do.
I just can't wait to see what this property is going to do.
Probably the same thing still.
Yeah,
Same thing it's been doing.
it's terrible.
You know, they'll just
Whatever.
walk past this place.
Oh my God.
Do they have a tentative date for the convention open?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
the Comic Con.
Which is one?
The first week, the 8th and 9th of September.
Okay.
I believe is the first official event.
Are we getting tickets for that?
If you want to
I
buy
mean,
tickets.
I'm not.
Well, I figured Casey might.
I don't necessarily need to go see Kevin Sorbo.
Oh.
Hey, for all you know, he might come in here and smoke cigars.
Yeah,
That
see,
is true.
I'm just waiting for them to come here.
I can go over there and pitch him this way.
You could.
That's right.
Could. Yeah. Go, hey, Hercules, you suck.
You got my cards?
Dude,
It'll pass
I'll
out.
talk to you guys about it after this. I actually have something of purpose that I want to say about this place before September.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fair enough.
What are we at? Are we at an hour and a half?
That guy is stumbling.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh yeah, he's going.
He's
He's doing the zombie walk side to side down the ramp.
Oh, he just hit the wall.
You should have
And
seen him
he hit
come
the
up. Him coming up
I,
was
I thought he made it up the ramp quite well.
no, it was.
I
a
didn't
bleh.
see that.
Oh, okay. Going down is terrible.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we at an hour and a half?
Yeah, we're good. Let's call
make
it.
this one a short one.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
This is a shorty.
Wait a minute.
What?
Like,
What's
Oh,
comment,
yeah. Okay,
and
look.
subscribe, guys.
Push the fucking subscribe button. Put a fucking like in and comment, please. For fuck's sake. It's not hard.
and thanks for watching.
Oh, yeah. And thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
Push the fucking subscribe button.